wherever you are in your journey, welcome. My name is Jacqui, and this is my journey called Personally Driven. So today I wanted to talk to you all about of course, I share my experiences and my insight on things and things in that nature, and it will vary day to day, right? Because it just be a lot of stuff on my mind. So yesterday I was talking to my friend, and she had her friend on the other line. Now this guy, he had gave her, as we call it, we'll say read you. So he was reading her the other day, and she shared with me what he said. And so I was like, you know what? I want him to read me. I met him a few times. We've all talked on the phone before all together. That's what we tend to do. That's something. So just to give you a little heads up about some of my friends, what we tend to do. Sometimes we may watch a show that we all like, or that me and my other friend like, and sometimes we watch the show together. We may not be physically sitting with each other, but they'll be in another state. She'll be in another state, and I'll be here in Atlanta, and we'll be on the phone talking about the show. And sometimes we may not do it that way. We might do it a different way, where she watched the show, I watched the show, and during the show, we'll text each other back and forth or leave audio texts back and forth about the show, what we thought, what we were, all that stuff. So that's our way of watching the show together, since we can't be with each other. So I say all that to say some of the other things that me and my friends do is if we're driving, like right now while I'm recording this, I'm driving and I'm recording this, right? Well, sometimes when I'm on the phone with my friends, we will bring somebody else in on the call, and we'll all talk together while we're driving wherever we're driving to. So sometimes we could be on the phone for hours, because it just flows like that. But anyway, so getting back to my story. So all three of us were on the phone together, just talking, of course, talking about the weather right now, because there was a hurricane. It was called Hurricane, I think Ivan? I'm not sure. I forgot the name of it. But it's no longer, the good thing is it's no longer a hurricane. It's a tropical storm. Unfortunately, the state of Florida, there's been a lot of flooding going on. And one loss of life that I know of as of today. Hopefully no more. And I say all this to say, and how this story came up too, is because I have 3 nephews and their families that live in Tampa. So we were talking about, with all of us on the phone, I was sharing that I've gotten text messages from my niece, which is their wives, telling us that they're all okay. They're just cleaning up right now. Luckily, no flooding for them in their area where they were. So that all worked out. That's all great. And I'm happy about that. So I was asking my girlfriend, Nicole, asking her friend, where is he traveling? Because he drives trucks, and he was traveling. And he was saying where he was located and all of that. And based on the weather, he's going to decide which way he's going to come back, which would be safer to him. Not follow maybe not come up the shore, but to be more inland when coming home. So, okay, so that's neither here nor there. So anyway, so he's the gentleman that was giving me, he's the one that was reading me. So I was so curious to what he was going to say. Like, I geek out over this kind of stuff, which I will share with you all on another recording. I'm going to share with you all my astrology readings that I've had, numerology reading that I've had, and I'm going to share with you what I found with cardology, and I'll explain that in another recording or another podcast or another blog post. I haven't decided where I'm putting it yet. So anyway, so he goes on to tell me about myself. What's so hilarious is some things I would say he was spot on. So one of the things that he said that he was spot on about me is that I overthink things. That's the words he used. I overthink, in which he is so right. I don't call it overthinking. I say that I think very deeply, which I do. Yeah, I do that. And I guess there's some plus and there's some minuses to that. Which I can see that and I recognize that. But and some will say, especially that know about astrology, some will say, well, that's the Virgo side of me. Because according to astrology, Virgos tend to overanalyze, analyze everything. Some say that we are perfectionists. Which I think he mentioned that too. Yeah, in a way, he uses more harsh words, but which let's see. I guess I don't recognize my perfectionism. Is that a word? Anyway, you know what I mean. I guess I don't recognize that. I see it as I like things done a certain way, and I don't like to put out half-ass stuff. You know what I mean? Like, police officer. All right, so sorry about that, guys. But so like my point that I'm making is that for instance, I'm working on sharing my experiences with you all. So here's an example. I started this podcast, I think, over a year ago. I think I started this podcast over a year ago. I don't know. I got to go back and look at my dates and see exactly. But I started the podcast and then I stopped for a period of time because, one, I felt like I wasn't quite sure what I was going to talk about, right? Because I started the podcast thinking about entrepreneurship and how I can use podcasting as a platform for marketing, okay? But I kept on stopping, going, stop, go, because I didn't feel like I was clear on my messaging, and I wasn't clear as to who I was helping and how I was helping, which is very important to me. I want to know that what I'm doing is helping someone. So I felt like, I don't know if I'm really helping anyone. So after several things that I've done, after talking to a few, I've had a business coach before that I worked with one-on-one. Also, I've taken several coaching programs and books and things like that, and following their motto and following it somewhat. I didn't do it to a T. I didn't follow it all the way through. So I'm just being honest with you all. But I'm at a point in my life now that I feel like I'm ready to do it. So I will be sharing with you all my experiences going through the process. So if you're interested in starting a business or whatever, starting a side hustle or whatever it may be called for you, I would love for you to share your experiences as well. And maybe if some of the things that I share, if you do those things and share with me how that's helping you, that would be really great. I would love to read that, how it's working for you. Because that's what I'm all about, is sharing things that help me, and hopefully it can help you. So getting back to my story about perfectionism. So that's what made me stop the podcast, because I felt like it wasn't, I'm not going to say perfect, because I know nothing is perfect, but in my mind, I was like, I needed a little bit more put together before I put it out there. I procrastinated on making my website because I was like, I wanted to look a certain way, and all of that is procrastination, because I've seen people that have been very successful as an entrepreneur, and they created it as they came up with the idea as they went along. And it did not stop them from doing what they were trying to do. And so sometimes we can use perfectionism as a way of slowing down our progression. So, like I said, it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. It could be a positive thing or a negative thing, however you want to say it. So when he did bring up the point of me thinking deeply, that's a part of thinking deeply. Like, well, maybe I shouldn't do this, or I don't know, I'll hold off on that. So I do have a little touch of that at times with certain things, because there's some aspects of my life or things that I want to do, I just do. I don't second guess it. I don't hesitate. But then there's other aspects of my life where I'm like, well, I don't know. Or I'll just be thinking certain things and it'll hold me back from moving forward. So putting out these recordings and blog posts and all of that, I'm very vulnerable. I'm being vulnerable, which is a little scary for me. But I also think about too, I could go ahead and put this out here, and how many people really gonna hear it, right? How many people really gonna listen? Nobody knows that. And I also look at it as being vulnerable and sharing my truth and my experiences is therapeutic for me, because it helps it get it off of my mind. But also too, I think about, you know what? There's somebody else out there going through the same identical thing that I'm going through. Maybe not 100%, but in some aspect they're going through what I'm going through. And maybe hearing what I'm doing and my experiences, my failures, my falling down and getting back up, maybe it'll help them. So I think of it in that way, and that's what makes doing this a little bit easier, So anyway, so getting back to my story, so he's reading me, and I'm just cracking up because some things he's saying is so true. Well, one of the other things that he said was that he said that I have my guard up. He said that I'm not trusting, which I'm like, no, I believe I'm trusting. I believe I give people the benefit of the doubt. Unless you do something, then you're cut from the team, That's the phrase that I use. You know what I'm saying? People that's in my circle, I say they're a part of my team, right? They're a part of my team. And sometimes they can be benched because they need some time to cool off. Or that I get them out of the game and put them on the bench. And sometimes, if it even gets even worse, I may not cut you from the team because you haven't done that to where you need to be cut. But I might have to put you on the bench and give you some ice so you can cool off and get out of the game and sit with it. That's my thing. Sit with it with some ice and cool off. But anyway, so I was saying all that to say it's not that I don't trust people. I think I truly do. I think I may trust people a little bit too much. But like I said, I give people the benefit of the doubt. I try to look at everybody as like they're an individual. I don't like grouping people together. Like all these people are like this or all these people are like this, because I don't want to be grouped like that. Because I feel like my perspective on things is a little different than most. And some of you that's probably listening, if you listen to my podcast or read my blog, most likely you're in the same category. You're probably different than the majority of your coworkers. You're probably different from a lot of your peers. You're probably different than a lot of your friends. And you're probably, most likely, I'm going to say this is on the top of the list. You're probably totally different than your family. And you're probably considered the black sheep of your family, because that's me. So if you're listening to any of my podcasts and you get it, or read any of my blogs and be like, oh my goodness, that's my story, or I can relate, or that I can resonate with that, that's probably because I get you and you get me. That's what that's all about. So like I said, I don't think it's that I don't trust people. I don't think it's that at all. I think it's more so that I give people the benefit of the doubt. I look at people as an individual. Yeah, I do. But I think I have a great sense of, what's the word? I think I have a great sense of good people. Genuinely really good people. I think I got a really good bull crap meter. Like I think I can pick up on people's energies pretty well. That's going to be another story in itself, because sometimes I think I pick it up a little bit too much, and it makes me, I get a little emotional when, I get emotional sometimes when I'm talking to people and people are sharing their, experience, like something happened to them at work, or something happened in their relationship, or something they're going through medically, and all of that. And just talking to people, a lot of times I'm talking to people over the phone and I'll be like, oh my goodness, I feel that person. Like I totally feel that person. And sometimes it's been times, I'm telling y'all too much. But anyway, there's been times that I've been in a store and people have walked up to me and just start talking to me. And like, let's say for instance, they tell me something about their health, and they're sharing that with me. And I don't know if they share it with me because they don't have anyone to talk to, or maybe they're not ready to tell their family yet. But sometimes when that happens to me, my eyes start to water up and tear up, even though I'm trying to be strong for them. And then a lot of times my spirit just comes out with the right things to say for them in that moment. Or let me not say the right things to say. I'm trying to get away from saying right and wrong, but the words come to me through spirit. The words come to me and they seem to put that person at ease, give that person comfort. And now if you ask me 5 or 10 minutes later, what did I say to that person? I couldn't tell you. But it flows so effortlessly when it happens. And it's a beautiful thing when it happens, because it's just automatically natural for me to do. It's not, it's not like I have a bag of sentences, phrases, or something to say to someone. It just comes out of me because I know that's meant for me to say to that person at that time. And sometimes I get emotional. Sometimes I may not cry in front of that person, but my eyes do water up. And when I walk away from them, like say when I go back in my car, if I see them in person, or even if it's over the phone and I get off the phone with them, I end up crying. I really do. I really, really cry for that person. Because I'm just emotional in that way. But my exterior, and I come off as like a tough cookie. I mean, I don't take no junk, but I'm just saying, I'm just being real with you all and telling you, something only my closest, deepest friends know that about me. Because I probably done cried on the phone with them, or getting off the phone with them, I done cried or whatever. But so when he said that I don't trust people, and he also said I don't trust people and I don't allow people to love me, I thought that was interesting. Because I think he was not only talking about romantic relationships, I think he was just talking about friendships in a way too, that I'm somewhat guarded, I guess he's saying. And he pretty much is saying I won't let people in. Which I kind of figure we all have that in a way. I kind of figure we just don't become friends with everybody that we meet. Even romantically. Everybody that we meet romantically, wherever you meet, whoever you meet, at the time, you just don't fall in love and give that person your all and just be that vulnerable. I mean, I guess some people do, but I think the majority of us are all guarded in that way. So I told him, I think that one he got wrong. I think that one he got wrong about me not trusting people. Yeah. But I will admit, when it comes to romantic relationships, I guess he is a little right about me being afraid to totally, I'm not going to say commit. I have no problem with committing. I was married for 24 years. I can commit. That's not the problem. But I guess I am a little afraid of, I think I am, what's the word? I guess I am a little afraid of being hurt, or being heartbroken. I don't want to experience that. I didn't seen too many people go through heartbreak, and everybody goes through heartbreak differently. But I guess that's a feeling I don't want to feel. And I guess there's different forms of heartbreak, right? Because when my dad transitioned, of course I was heartbroken. When my brother transitioned, I was heartbroken too. But it was a different kind of feeling because I no longer wanted my family members to suffer. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I can feel selfish and wish they were still here. But I realize that's being selfish. Um, and then there's some deeper things to that I'll discuss later. But I just don't want to get on this off the subject of my of him reading me. So what I thought was really cool though is that he has a strong sense of intuition. And even though some of the things he said about me, I don't agree with 100%. But I was quite impressed by some things he said was like, there may be some truth to that. So, yeah, I kind of geek out on that kind of stuff. I never had my palm read before, or what are some of the other things they've done? I did sit not one-on-one with a medium, but and I'll share that in another recording, which I think I did on my retreat. Yes, I did. So if you go back and listen to my when I went on my retreat, I think I did share with you all about what a medium said to me and what other people that was at the retreat said that they saw and they felt about me. That was really, really interesting. So, yeah, so if you want to know that, just go back and listen to one of my other previous recordings about my retreat. I think it might have been day 2. Day 2 of the retreat? Yeah, I think it might be day 2 or either part 3 of the retreat. But hey, if you could just listen to all of them. But yeah, so I wanted to share with you all about me being read by my friend's friend, which was cool, which was really cool. And eventually I'm going to have people on the podcast that have come into my life and impacted my life in a way that that came into my life in a positive way, or impact my life in a positive way in some form of fashion. So I definitely want to do that. So I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying sharing this information with you all, my experiences. I really, really hope that you're getting some learning lessons from it. And hopefully it will inspire you or motivate you to go for, strive for your goals, eliminate fears, and or face your fears. Yeah. Do the things that are meant for you to do in your own way, right? That's the main thing, really. One of the main things that I want you all to get is that what's meant for you is meant for you, for one. And then for 2, there's no rules in doing this as far as entrepreneurship. Do it your way. Do it your way. And also, too, on your spiritual path, that's another thing, too. My spiritual mentor coined the phrase, I think it's called, oh goodness, is it freestyle? Freestyle spirituality? Or something like that. I got to go back and find out what it is. But what he meant overall in general about that is that there is no, when it comes to spirituality practices, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever resonates and works for you. So, if you want to meditate, great. If you want to do yoga, great. If you want to journal, great. If you find that walking in the park is meditative to you, great, do that. If you feel like having a ancestor altar set up and doing your prayers at your altar, great. There's no wrong way to go about this. If you want to use astrology, numerology, cardology, any of those things to on your spiritual path, great. If you want to use crystals, great. Do whatever. If you want to use tarot cards, great. So my point is, whatever works for you works for you. If going to church every Sunday works for you, great. If going to church, if physically not going to church, but watching it on YouTube, great. The point of the matter is, find out what works for you and do what works for you. Because it's your path. It's no one else's. So thank you so much for listening. And I'm about to go get me some self-care and get my nails done. And probably a pedicure too. So manicure, pedicure, and relax and be thankful that I am so thankful and grateful that I am able to do something for myself that is relaxing. I like to pamper myself every once in a while. I'm learning to do that more often because I didn't do it before, but that's all here or there. But anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. So the lesson, hopefully you got the lessons out of it. And if not, hey, hopefully you were entertained. I want you to get one or the other or both. So, all right, till next time. Peace.